Welcome back to Breadcrumbs for Life, where simple steps lead to real results. This is Frances, and I want to talk to you about something that we all face when things go wrong, when we have negative situations in our life, and they feel huge. And they feel like they're the only thing that matters to us at the moment. And I don't know about you, but I have regular things to go wrong in my life. Seems like all the time. And I had to find a way to deal with it, or otherwise I would drive myself crazy from the stress and the guilt and the overwhelm. Because fear grows, doesn't it? And disappointment takes over. And then our mind is racing with worst case scenarios. But a lot of times, the problems often look bigger than they really are. And the possibilities often look smaller than they really are. So we have to zoom out and start to see that today's setback might actually clear the way for tomorrow's breakthrough. And what feels like a closed door in one area might be making space for a right opportunity to open somewhere else. I know that we've heard that before, and we know that. We've probably experienced that in our past. If we look back at our past, that's a good thing to do, to realize that the moment it might feel horrible, but a brighter day is coming. So even if the situation is out of our control, which a lot of times it is, we have things that happen that we didn't cause, but we also have things happen that we did cause. But either way, our response is not out of our control. No matter what happens, how we respond matters. And looking at the possibilities and focusing on that rather than the problem can help us. So we can handle it with a calm perspective, with a hope. And that's a huge part of protecting our emotional well-being, because you know this, the more you let it fester in your mind, the worse it gets, and it grows bigger and bigger. And that's just what Satan wants to happen. He wants us to continue to think negative about the situation rather than find a solution, rather than to see what is possible. So some things to think about doing if you're dealing with negative stuff right now in your life, or something to remember when the next time it happens, because it will happen. First of all, take a deep breath. Deep breaths are so important. Slowly in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Take a few deep breaths over and over, and just remind yourself as you're breathing, this problem doesn't get to define me. It's real, but so is what's possible. What's possible is just as real as your problem. So focusing on the solution, focusing on what is possible, will help you to remember not to focus on the problem and the negative feelings that you have. Sometimes I just write down all the possibilities, all the solutions, all the things that I can think of that would be a positive outcome for whatever I'm dealing with. Sometimes I just write down all the things where I messed up, things that I'm sorry for, things I should have done differently. But the thing is, we have to do something. We can't just let it fester. We cannot just let it fester in our minds. We've got to take the action so that we get away from focusing on the problem and the negativity and who was right or who was wrong, but what is possible. How can we make this work so that we can move from the negative to move to the positive? Sometimes the most surprising, beautiful turns in life come from the moments that seem to fall apart. And if you think back when you felt your last time you felt like life was falling apart, think about what happened after that. What was the outcome of that? So don't let your today's disappointment convince you that your story is over. It might actually be the start of something better. Until next time, leave a breadcrumb, make a difference. This is Frances.